On behalf of Cy and Michael Resnick and the entire staff at Sinai Chapels, please accept our sincerest condolences for your loss, and thank you for allowing us the privilege to serve you. The following video presentation has been prepared for you as an everlasting memorial for you and for your family.
שיוויתי אדוני לנגדי תמיד, כי ממני בא למות לכן, שמח ליבי ויגל, כבודי אף בשרי, ישכון לבטח, כי לא תעזוב נפשי לשאול. I have set the eternal always, always before me. God is at my side, I shall not be moved. Therefore, does my heart exalt, my soul rejoice, my being is secure. For you, God, will not abandon me to death, nor let your faithful ones see destruction. And you show me the path of life, and your presence brings fullness of joy. Enduring happiness is your gift. Adonai, מה אדם ותדעהו בן אנוש ותחשבהו. God, what are we? What are we that you have regard for us? And what are we that you're mindful of us? And we are just like a breath in our days, like a passing shadow. We come and go like grass, which in the morning shoots up, renewed, and in the evening fades and withers. And you, God, you cause us to turn to dust, saying, return, return, O mortal creatures. Would that we were wise, that we understood whither we are going, for when we die, we carry nothing, nothing away. And our glory does not accompany us. Mark the wholehearted, and behold the upright. They shall have peace. God, you redeem the soul of your servants, and none who trust in you shall be alone. And death has taken now your beloved thee, and of course now you grieve. And of course at this moment and in your silence there is sorrow, there is sadness. Lost in that feeling of sadness now, may you find the presence of each other, and of course the presence of your loved ones, of your friends, a source of comfort. Hear the mourners, O God, be with them. For this love that united you in life, and which death simply cannot sever. And of course for her companionship that you shared along life's path, and which continues now through the tenderness of memory. And for the gift of her heart and mind that brought you joy and happiness, and is now a precious remembrance. For all this and more, you now give your thanks to God. But in this time of grief, you just listen. And you listen now to the voice of our sacred scriptures, that somehow it tries to bring us the ever new message of God's nearness. It tells us of our kinship with the Creator, in light as in darkness, in joy as in sorrow, in life as in death. Adonai ro'i lo echsar, binodeh sheyar, bitzeni al menei menuchot, ינעלילני נפשי ישובב ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו. God is my shepherd, I shall not want. God makes me lie down in green pastures and leads me beside still waters and restores my soul. And you, God, you lead me in the right path for the sake of your name. Even when I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For you, God, you're with me. And your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And you have set a table before me in the presence of my enemies. And you have anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of God forever. לכל זמן ועת, לכל חפץ תחת השמיים. For everything, there is a season and a time for every experience under heaven. There is, of course, a time to be born and a time to die. There is a time to plant and a time to uproot what is planted. There is a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. There is a time to seek and a time to lose. There is a time to keep silence and a time to speak. And in the rising of the sun and in its going down, you will, of course, remember thee. And in the blowing of the wind and the chill of winter, you will remember her. And in the opening of flowers and the rebirth of spring, you will remember her. And in the rustling of leaves and the beauty of fall, you will remember her. And in the beginning of the year and when it ends, you will remember her. And when you are weary and in need of strength, you will remember her. And when you're lost and sick at heart, you will remember her. And of course, when you have, those happy moments that we yearn to share, of course, you will remember thee. So long, therefore, as you are alive, she will too be alive. For now she has become a part of each one of you, as you now remember her. לידה היא ראשית ופריטת תכלית. Birth is just a beginning, and death only a destination. But life is a journey, a going, a growing. And we go from stage to stage, from childhood to maturity, and from youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing, and from foolishness to discretion, and then perhaps we go to wisdom, and from weakness to strength, or strength to weakness, and of course often back again. And we go from health to sickness and back, we pray, to health again. And we go from offense to forgiveness, and from loneliness to love, and from joy to gratitude, and from pain to compassion, and grief to understanding, and from fear to faith, and from defeat to defeat to defeat, until looking backward, or for that matter ahead, we see that victory lies not on some high place along the way, but victory is exactly what Diane did. Victory is having made the journey, stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning, and death only a destination. But life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage made stage by stage, from birth to death to life everlasting. And in his sorrow, Job cried out, Adonai Natan v'Adonai Lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai Mevorach. God has given and God has taken away. Blessed be God's name. We're now going to just take a moment of silence, a moment to really answer a very important question at a moment like this, which is not whether you want to keep this good name beyond a moment like this. That's obviously you do, you're here. But it's how to do that. Those of you who are blessed by having a relationship with her, are you going to keep, her name beyond a moment like this? Your mom's name, your grandmother's name, your friend, your loved one. How are you going to do that? Usually people say, well, we keep the names, and it's true, we keep the name of our loved ones beyond moments like this with the memories. That is correct. However, Jewishly speaking, that's only the beginning of how to do that. There is one more thing to do for those of you who are blessed by having that relationship with her, and it's the following. Each of you created a unique relationship with her. That's how life works. You had a unique relationship with your mom. Maybe many things were in common and similar, but I'm sure you had your own relationship and you had your own. That's how life works. Unique and personal relationship with those who we love and share life with us. This is the moment that in order to keep her good name beyond this moment, you look into that unique and personal relationship with her, with thee, and you ask yourselves, what value, what behavior, what right attitude I can take with me from the relationship with her and make that value, that attitude, that right behavior part of who you are, how you react to life. In other words, next time you react to life and you act the right way, and you can say to yourself, I'm reacting the right way, but I'm doing that not only because it's the right way, but because of my mother, my grandmother, these love and relationship with you, then her good name continues beyond a moment like this, when your actions reflect that she is not just a memory, but part of who you are. So if you're so kind to just take a few moments to begin looking into that relationship and to see what you can actually choose and take and make it part of who you are. I don't really expect that after a few seconds of silence, you're going to come up with, oh, here's a list of 1,000 things to do because of her. Of course not. Maybe, most likely, not even maybe, most likely nothing will come to mind, which is fine, and that's why I keep repeating myself, because when you talk about her, when you think about her, always ask, not just the memories, always ask, so what is it that I have, that it's good, valuable, and I act upon it because of the relationship with thee, with your mom, with your grandmother. So just a moment, please, to begin that process of choosing that goes beyond simply remembering her. Please, just a moment of silence and a moment for silent prayer. May the words of our mouth and the meditations of our heart be acceptable in your sight, O God, our strength and our Redeemer. And of course, in the service now is when we continue with the eulogy. And the eulogy, what really is, again, within the context of the Jewish service, is kind of a simple group therapy. Those of you who know thee, hear what you already know. Why? So the words can bring a little bit of comfort. It is really not a moment to discover things that you didn't know about your grandmother. They say, really, my grandma did that? On the opposite. It's a moment to reaffirm and to say, yeah, that's exactly who she was, is, and will continue to be. It's, of course, impossible to speak about a loved one and say everything that needs to be said, which is a good thing, because as life goes on, you will always keep saying, I could have, I should have said that, I remember this is what I want to make part of my behavior. So it's good, but the eulogy serves that purpose. And of course, whether it was me speaking or the speakers that are going to share with us, the whole purpose of the eulogy, again, is to bring comfort with the words. Therefore, not right or wrong in terms of what it is said. On the opposite, it's always right. And as a rabbi, I'm always honored to share what the family shares with me, but I'm always very amazed when there are loved ones that really wish to share with us, because it's not an easy thing to do. It's easier to say, I will speak about my mom outside the chapel. When the moment comes, it's a little bit more complicated than we thought. But nevertheless, there are loved ones who do wish to share with us, and if they are up to still to the task, I would like to call on Phyllis first, please, if you're so kind, Herschlock, to come up, please.
Thank you. Okay. My mother was an amazing woman. She had such a love of life. She lived her life to the fullest up until the very end. She suffered from a respiratory disease which has no cure and just kept getting worse and worse until it's impossible to breathe. Even though she was told over a year ago to stop working, wear oxygen, and take it easy, she didn't listen. That's just like Diane. She had to live her way. She didn't let this debilitating illness stop her. She traveled to Florida to visit her dear friend Marilyn and to see Norman and Leslie as often as she could. She saw her friends and family regularly. Nothing stopped her from going to the movies, Broadway shows, or out to dinner. She was always the one volunteering to drive people when they had appointments or places to be. She'd have to stop constantly to catch her breath, but she still kept on going. It wasn't until the illness got so bad that her body wouldn't let her live that way. That's when she gave up. She couldn't possibly live sitting in a chair all day, not able to walk, and even having difficulty talking. Mom also had a very successful life. She didn't have fame or money or great power. She had the most important success of all. She had so many people that loved her, and she loved every one of them in return. My mother loved being with her family and friends more than anything. She was her happiest when she was doing something nice for someone else. She treated everyone as if they were family. I wasn't her only daughter. All the ladies at the office were like daughters to her, too. So I had many sisters. She had pictures of them and their kids up on her refrigerator. She shared in all their family celebrations as if she was part of their family too. She also shared me with her friends from the neighborhood. Not only did I have all these extra sisters, I have several mothers too. She would always invite me to join in when she went out with Barbara, Phyllis, Gabby, and Lucy. I had lots of concerned moms offering me their motherly wisdom and support. She became friends with the ladies that rode the bus to work with her. She even had a special place in her heart for Alice, her hairdresser. Everywhere she went, she met new people whom she loved and who loved her. She had such a giving nature and had a way of making everyone feel special. She always had something nice to say about everyone. I know how much she loved me, Mike, Richie, and Kathy, but the people that gave her heart the most pleasure were her grandchildren, Kevin, Holly, Ryan, and Ben. She adored them and would do anything for them. It didn't matter if their parents said no. She did it anyway. That's Diane. Mom also had a very special place in her heart for Aunt Carol. Mom and Carol were like sisters. They always had a special bond. Carol was there for Mom when my dad died, and when Uncle Mark died, Mom was there for Carol. They traveled together and supported each other in any way they could. No place was ever the same after Diane and Carol visited. I wasn't even surprised when I heard that Mom called for Carol in the middle of the night right before she died. The nurse called Carol and held the phone to Mom's ear. Carol told Mom that she was going to be okay, that she would make sure we were all okay, and that it was all right to let go. Carol told Mom we all love her and that we were okay, and that after that is when my mom passed away. She wouldn't let go until she knew that her loved ones were all right. This is an example of the kind of woman my mother was. There are so many people in my mom's life that I mentioned everyone, we would be here until tomorrow. So even if you haven't heard your name and story, please note that everyone here has their own special place in Diane's heart and in her life. I will always have an empty space in my soul, which only she was able to fill, and the world will never be the same without Diane Ziet in it. At least I had her for 54 years, and the world was blessed to have her for 75 years. Diane Ziet was truly a remarkable woman who touched the lives of so many people. She will truly be missed.
Thank you. I would like now to invite Kevin. Yeah, please.
Hi. I just like to give like a grandkid's perspective on Diane. She was an amazing grandmother. She just wanted the best for her grandkids too. She absolutely loved being a grandmother. One thing she always wanted to do, she wanted to basically see me succeed as well throughout school. She basically like giving me $100 for like every good grade I got. Yes, despite the fact that she literally had nothing else. She would also basically push me to get my driver's license even when I was completely nervous about the driver's test, get a job at all times, and maybe cut my hair once in a while. I don't think I took her advice on that one. But it's not just for me, but she probably wanted to see a lot of everyone here be very successful and happy in their lives. She would basically go out with you. She would go to the movies. I remember going to see the movie Inglourious Basterds with her. That basically had us joking about it for quite a while, in fact. She was a very, very, very caring woman, but she also did give my dad a few hard times, but that was pretty natural. I give him hard times too. I would say that's like the parent-son relationship. But now that she's not here anymore, I do realize something, that I think the best way to remember her would be to live to her in the same way she did.